This show contains multitudes. And I feel like we got to do the thing where we acknowledge what's happening in the outside world as sports news is actually demanding that we acknowledge it in July. Because there are a couple of stories that are tricky for us to handle, but I'm so excited to handle them for you because they all kind of interlink in ways that are kind of eerie. And so the most uncomfortable one is this update we just got about Bronny James. So Bronny James is LeBron James' son. He goes to USC. He's an All-American. He's the most famous kid in college basketball. And he suffered a cardiac arrest on Monday. Fell to the floor on the court. And Shams Charania was reporting that he was taken to the hospital. He's now in stable condition, no longer in the ICU. There's a whole statement. Medical staff treated him. We are very happy that this did not become something more than that.
Bronny James' heart stopped while playing basketball. And he had to be nursed back to health, nursed back to life. LeBron James almost lost his son on a basketball court in Southern California. We found out about it today. I can't even imagine the terror that went through the James family. I hope Bronny can continue to play the sport and continue to live a healthy life, but that is stunning in the moment. And I'm almost glad we found out about it a day later because the reckless speculation and the panic around that story, I don't know how they kept it quiet, especially in a hub like Los Angeles where TMZ is lurking behind every corner and he's so high profile. It's amazing that this story was kept under wraps as long as it was.
It did feel like TMZ waiting a day to break this in conjunction with Shams was a nod to the gravity of what was at stake. And it does feel also like, again, how do we process news in the modern era? I'll tell you where my brain went. My brain went to, A, thank God he's okay. What a horrific news cycle that would have been. And also a real-life event, period, absent any of this news stuff. But number two, my brain went to, am I just going to Twitter search or X search vaccine conspiracies now? Because anything involving the heart, this is the DeMar Hamlin story.
Yeah.
I just can feel it already brewing, even if I haven't even done the search yet.
It was happening with Shaka Hislop, who passed out while covering a Real Madrid game at the Rose Bowl.
Happened to Keontae Johnson as well when he passed out at the Florida game.
Yes. And in all of these cases, look, I'm not here to relitigate vaccine conspiracies.
Yeah, don't forget Christian Eriksen, who at the time wasn't vaxxed but was being propped up. That was the start of all these theories that people just drop dead if they take the vaccine. And in the moment, you don't have finality either way on your hypothesis, and you just take everything as confirmation bias to the point that people think that DeMar Hamlin's a clone.
Right. And all conspiracies, all theories are rooted in a plausibility. And when something happens like this, you don't know. And so at some point, yes, we will do the statistical evaluation of, okay, how often do things like this happen with people who are vaccinated? Was Bronny James vaccinated? We don't know. And also, by the way, cardiac issues have been around sports long before the coronavirus,
the vaccine,
and all of this stuff.
We've had examples of this throughout sports.
Yes.
When Youth League all the way up to professional.
When Hank Gathers happened, there wasn't anybody.
Pistol Pete, Len Bias.
There weren't people out there saying, "Oh, the vaccine got him."
So as that is happening, as I presume it's happening on the internet,
and thankfully it's happening like a day after. Again.
Credit to every confirmation
because
there
was a 911 call. This happened.
There were sirens
Angeles.
on the ambulance. Like this is a degree of concern that was beyond the let's just be dutiful to be safe here. There was actual concern for his life.
Yeah, there was a coordinated effort to also keep the privacy and respect for the family, which I find actually oddly hopeful.
A rare line when it comes to what dignity we're preserving. But simultaneous to all of this thread interlinking news on the internet is the fact that, as we were talking a minute ago, Shams Charania has a follow-up story about how Jaylen Brown just agreed to a 5-year, $304 million Supermax contract.
Wow.
The richest deal in NBA history. As we've anticipated, as we've been wondering, what's taking so long with Jaylen Brown? And the reason this connects back to all of these stories is because now that we know that Bronny is okay, we can also do a little bit of hypothesizing about the timeline of his dad's tweets about money in sports. And we realized that when LeBron was posting that meme about how he was Forrest Gump running towards the money that the Saudis were offering. Well, now the timeline's a little confusing to me, and I don't want to dwell on that, but the point is, here we are now, LeBron James, Jaylen Brown, Draymond Green, Giannis Antetokounmpo, all of these guys figuring into this conversation about are NBA players being paid enough? And should they actually be running to the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund to get what they're not being offered domestically?
Well, you mentioned the timing of it, and by reports, the call went out in the morning around like 9:23 local time, and that tweet went out later in the evening. One can assume LeBron by then had been given all assurance that Bronny was okay. He's moved out of the ICU. So LeBron decides to venture into the social media landscape after all of this, and he picks a pretty taboo subject. And LeBron, who is not without controversy when weighing in on China, decides to have a laugh with all the Saudi money being spilled.
Well, as did Draymond Green. As did Giannis, who said, I kind of look like Kylian Mbappe, who just got offered, as we talked about in yesterday's show, reportedly, close to 700, whatever it is, $500 million for a year.
There are reports out there, and we don't know the true number, but there are reports out there that the entire package, transfer fee, player wages, additional endorsements, it's a belly for 1 year, with the acknowledgement that Mbappe can go to Real Madrid at the end of the contract.
So instinctively, I understand if you're an NBA player who is not making that much money despite being literally LeBron James or Giannis or even Draymond, I understand why your instinct is to laugh and wonder about a world in which you did get paid that because some sovereign wealth fund was going to pay you that. But what Mike brought up about the word taboo is what was so fascinating to me, is because it did not feel like that taboo even vaguely registered with the speed and the humor with which these guys were tweeting about it. And it made me wonder about if the entire sports washing conversation, it's just already over. Like this is just another sign that the argument's done.
Pablo, you were saying when they have their board meetings over in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the person that has the sports account, and we try to figure out what the end game is.
Yes. Yesterday we talked about this.
There's celebration when he sees LeBron normalizing the conversation.
The greatest
high fives. Look, he posted a funny meme. Oh my gosh, we did it.
He wants our money.
We did it, Joe.
Mission accomplished. We have these guys that we're not even offering contracts to asking us to offer them contracts. And that's the point. That's the point to me. So is this chess being played by the Saudi Arabian government in terms of will there be returns on this financial investment? I don't know. I just know that the point at which you are willing to joke about this, let alone the point at which you will watch games because you love them more than you hate the people who are buying them, then all of this proves the point that they're just here now and the conversation's over.
I would love Namor to tweet about Jaylen Brown's contract and say, imagine what he could get if he could go left. Imagine what he'd be able to make if he could dribble. Because it's not like there isn't absurd money being spent in the NBA. I understand looking at it through that entire prism and believing whatever aggregate you run through, and we don't know the actual numbers of Mbappe's deal. But yes, they get paid more handsomely in that sport than basketball. It's not capped over there.
But also the follow-up question then to me is what did LeBron, Draymond, Giannis, what did they pay in exchange for these tweets? What's the cost incurred? And to me, the cost incurred is only a cost that I can impose as Guy filling in for Dan Le Batard trying to do a serious story after we did TikTok Live, which is to say that I hope that it costs him his credibility when it comes to being a moral authority on other stuff, because that's the only cost we can levy.
You really think that's going to happen, though? You know better than that.
It happened in the public eye when it came to the China stuff, and it's something that he's had to live with every time he weighs in on anything.
His silence.
Because people are always throwing in his face the China stuff, and I found it really surprising that he decided to venture into those waters again, considering how China went for him. And he does seem to be a guy that relishes the reputation that he could be a moral authority. Historically, he's done a lot with the platform.
The convenience of what part of your conscience is activated by horrifying stories. LeBron should speak about the issues that are important to him. I'm glad his family is safe and healthy, all of that. What I'm wondering about is whether that math of, there are all these other people living under the thumb of this regime, whether they actually matter to my math.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories, available for delivery. Dan, he comes and goes, weaving between his ESPN responsibilities and whatever it is he's supposed to be doing for Meadowlark Media. He was here a couple of weeks ago, not here last week, but Dan, after receiving a text from him over the weekend asking me to bring him some cannabis on Monday morning, make no mistake about it, just like that, Pablo Torre is back.
Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome.
You came through. I did not think you would come through, but you are 2 for 2 on that request being fulfilled.
There's more in my
Allegedly.
backpack.
Oh.
Yes. If you want. Just saying.
Noted.
Okay. Hosting a panel with Peyton Manning this week in New York, thinking about calling him Eli just for the joke. I have to do that, right?
You're hosting a panel with Peyton Manning?
Don't ask me how I got roped into this. Well, you can ask me.
Are you going to pitch him on some quarterbacks?
I'm not certain what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to show up there. It's me, Golick, Peyton Manning, Larry Fitzgerald, and Roger Goodell.
What?
Wow. You're on a panel with Roger Goodell?
I
kind
think
of
so.
buried the
Yes.
lead on that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, I mean, Peyton Manning. Headliner, no?
Does Roger Goodell know this?
I have no idea.
You said roped into this. It's like heaven for you.
Well, I know, but if you're wondering how I got roped into it, money. Vacation days.
Really? How much did you have to pay them?
Hey. My periodontist said I was a classic overbrusher. After I told her I loved her, I asked her for her top 5 overbrushers of all time. It was a reflex reaction. She looked at me like I was crazy. Top 5 people in sports that I imagine are classic overbrushers. Number 5, Dan Campbell. Number 4, Mike Keenan. I went off the board on you. I know, Mike. Off the board. And you loved it. Number 3, Bill Cowher. Number 2, Bo Pelini.
That's a good one. Wow.
And number 1, Will Muschamp.
So just to recap, your periodontist said that you brush your teeth too much.
Classic overbrusher, yes. Let the toothbrush do the work. Stop working so hard, you know? The electric toothbrush. It goes around and around and around. You don't need to do anything. Just place it where you want your teeth brushed. That's what you told me. But I don't. It's going round and around and around and around, and I'm really digging in there, and I don't need to dig in there, and it's making my gums worse.
It's the only place where you're not lazy.
The rare do less
Weird,
from the
right?
dentist.
Yeah. Watch out for the Reds. Lionel Messi. Do it in the Premier League. I don't like this whole Messi thing. Did he ever play in that league?
No, but he beat Premier League teams in the Champions League
Really?
before.
Oh, do it somewhere else.
He has. He's done it almost everywhere
You won
else.
a World Cup.
Do it in MLS.
It's easy. Child's play, right? Do it again in the MLS. Was watching the Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony over the weekend. They introduced Ozzie Smith, and I blurted out, not a Hall of Famer. The Wizard.
The greatest defensive shortstop of all time is not a Hall of Famer.
The top 5 Hall of Famers who shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Number 5, Bill Mazeroski. Maz. Number 4, Burt Bylevin. Burt be home by 11. Number 3,
July 11.
Ozzie Smith. The Wizard. You can't have 10. I got it. I heard you the first time. Burt be home by 11.
You also don't know how to say Chuck Knobloch.
Chuck Knobloch.
You always say Knobloch.
I do. Ozzie Smith, I am sorry. You cannot have 10 homers, have a career average of 262, have, 300 RBIs for a 20-year career, and be in the Hall of Fame. I don't care. I don't want to hear about it. He does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. And neither does Bert. Bert, I think, has as many losses as he does wins. He wasn't that good. 300 wins, you get in. He stuck around for 3 decades. Enough. Number 2, Phil Niekro. No business being in that Hall of Fame. 0.
Classic compiler.
Yep. Number 1, Phil Rizzuto. The Scooter. He had 1 MVP season, and that is it. And 1 MVP season does not make you a Hall of Famer. It's the Hall of Fame, Pablo. It's not the Hall of Very Good.
Wow.
We're pretty good. In the case of Phil Niekro. Look at his ERA. It's terrible. Doesn't deserve it. Scott Rowland is 3 years younger than I am. Let that sink in.
I feel bad for Scott Rowland still.
Tom Amansky should have gone into the Hall of Fame with Fred McGriff, the crime dog. Jim Tomei might want to consider a salad once in a while.
Come on.
It's getting away from him.
Sue.
I mean, I'm no one to.
We are living in glass houses.
You're right. Said this yesterday. I'll say it again because it's worth repeating. Ricky Henderson still looks like he could swipe 50 bags.
That's true.
He does.
Looks great.
Mike Greenberg decided to show up to his radio show and asked if it's unfair to start having the Brady Mahomes discussion. Hey, Greeny, get back to me in 50,000 yards, 400 touchdown passes, and 4 rings. Hashtag Greeny. Hashtag July. I've never seen a team, Ed City, so excited to up their record to 5-14 on the season. Inter Miami. Act like you've been there before. What was that?
It didn't count for that record. It's a different competition.
I don't care. It's their 5th win of the year.
It's not.
Mike, I have seen teams celebrate less winning a Super Bowl
They
than
have
I
more
saw
wins
that
in
night.
another competition that don't count for it. It's just your math is wrong.
All right. Well, they're 5-14. That's right?
I mean, they didn't get an extra win in the league standings for what they did against Cruz Azul, which plays in Mexico.
League's Cup match.
Lionel Messi playing in the MLS is like Patrick Mahomes playing in the XFL. Hey, Messi, heads up, because you don't know Miami, my friend, but everyone is illegally using your name and likeness to make money. I was at a place over the weekend. There was a sign that said, "You, Messi, were going to make me a chicken sandwich and serve it to me." I ordered it.
That's not what they were saying.
Oh, yes, it was.
The photo is of Messi handing someone a chicken sandwich. But
false
that's not,
advertising. Even worse. Does he
called-
know about this?
Is it called the Messy Chicken
It is
Sandwich?
called the Messy Chicken Sandwich, yeah. But everyone's got a messy chicken sandwich.
Yeah, but he's actually making money off of his name, image, and likeness with that particular endorsement.
You ordered
sure?
a sandwich off
Yes,
a painting?
Positive.
Messy chicken sandwich, yes.
How was it?
Messy.
He went to see Sebastian. It was at that same establishment.
How'd you know?
I don't know why you don't want to say Hard Rock.
I don't know. I did say Hard Rock Live earlier. But what's the name of the place?
The Hard Rock.
It's the Hard Rock
yeah,
Cafe?
yeah.
There's a lot of restaurants
That's where his
inside that place. By
endorsement
the
deal
way,
is.
it looks great over there.
Yeah, the guitar.
Renovated. It's nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Guitar Hotel.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Blackjack table get you?
It did. It always does.
And that's why he's on a panel with Roger Goodell.
Exactly right. Source: Jimmy Garoppolo passes Raiders camp physical. I promise you, he will fail that same test the second Dr. Brady administers the exam. Brian Harmon, thanks for ruining my weekend, and congratulations on winning the Open Championship. Talk to you on Stupidity in about 18 minutes.
You just remembered you have an interview. You
I
keep
did.
scheduling interviews in the middle of our show.
Sorry.
And as a bonus, decide to take Chris Cody with you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
It's a golf interview.
on.
I mean, what do you mean? I'll take Greg.
Chris?
Was disappointed that the suit Craig Biggio wore to the Hall of Fame ceremony wasn't dirty, and surprised he didn't jump on stage 5 seconds before his name was announced.
Was he wearing an elbow guard at least?
He was.
Yeah. That's a BGO I know.
Going outside. Dangerous game. Pablo using several words that I'll pretend to know the meaning of, but won't. Collision course. Tampa Bay Rays, welcome to second place. Told you to keep an eye on the O's. The Baseball Hall of Fame has lost its luster. Speaking of Hall of Fames, just a reminder, don't want anyone going into cardiac arrest. I probably should have changed that.
You probably shouldn't have read it once you realized.
You know what? I apologize.
These were written before that.
That is
I don't want anyone to be shocked.
Remarkable thing that just happened.
Bad luck.
Stugotz kind of slowed into that.
He slowed into it saying, this is wrong, but can't come up with a synonym.
He was like, this canyon does have an edge that I am walking past.
In fairness to me, I was supposed to do these yesterday, studio meltdown. I mean...
You recognize the error of your ways.
Yeah.
And you still said that.
Well, yeah, do I...
I love the phrase.
I think you're covered now contextually, but choose another word, please.
Okay, shocked.
Very good.
Don't want anyone to be shocked when it happens. Next week, but not 1, 2 New York Jets will be enshrined into Pro Football's Hall of Fame. 2. Hell will freeze over before we ever see that again. Speaking of hell, Art Briles.
Should say hello to him.
I am sweating through my shirt because of what I just did.
I can see it.
Sweating through the back of my shirt.
It's pooling beneath your feet.
I can't believe I did that. Apologies to everyone. LeBron, Bronny, I'm sorry. Bad timing. Bad luck.
Those
are the weekend observations that I regret doing.
So one of the truly delightful things that happened yesterday amid the how many days since technological meltdown counter got reset back to 0 because the video system broke down. One of the delightful things that happened was that we were forced to innovate, and Stugotz found his future. I mean, is it main hustle at this point? It's clearly a side hustle already, but it feels like
a side hustle that could turn into a main hustle. Yeah.
So
good.
TikTok Live. If you have not listened to this audio-only segment from yesterday, I highly encourage it. It was the only segment in the history of sports media that involves Stugotz repeating the word glizzies while also FaceTiming Joe Theismann.
Correct, yes. I apologized to Joe. He said, no problem, you're funny. I said, you're a good man, sir. But yes, I FaceTimed Joe Theismann.
Cool part about that is we were talking about the Commanders, but the FaceTime Joe Theismann was completely a coincidence.
Joe likes the football team, just so you know. He did. Like, when I get a text from Theismann, it's not stopping at, hey, you're funny. Like, we continued all day, and it's going on right now. He likes the Washington football team as a name.
Oh, you guys are workshopping the rebrand.
Well, we were debating Commanders. I said I like the Washington football team. You guys laughed at me. I asked Joe, a legendary Washington quarterback. He said the football team was fine. He liked it.
But the headline here is that we set Stugotz on a path to take down Pinky Doll and become the biggest TikTok influencer there is.
NPC.
Did I do it?
I think I like our foundation.
Okay.
Same. And so today, Mike, we're going to explain our next rollout in this project.
Who needs me?
Yeah.
What?
Greg, do you have any idea what any of the words you've said mean?
I'm trying to figure out what TikTok means.
Right.
I know my podcast has a TikTok channel, if it's called a channel, but I never am involved with it. I don't do anything. I don't know whether there's a hyphen in TikTok or not. I'm just unfamiliar. I know it's a social media sensation.
Perfect.
Right.
But, that kind of thing.
All right. So there's this superstar called Pinky Doll that gets awarded gifts.
Right.
They show up as animated emojis that show up on the screen. And each gift actually has a real life monetary value.
Okay.
And whenever she receives a gift, like ice cream, she says, ice cream's so good.
Right. I know when I was a kid,
she gets a gang.
When I was a kid, I played tic-tac-toe. Is there anything similar? Is it like that kind of thing or that kind of thing? Okay.
So what we're going to do
Yeah.
is Fuentes, our handy dandy TikTok person, is going to activate our TikTok live. And we did do a brief run through. I told you have to textualize the screen. You have to become an influencer. You have to have catchphrases for every GIF that you have, and you have to repeat it. It's kind of a bit of a memory game for you.
Yeah. How many different gifts are there?
Well, the thing
We're
is,
gonna find
I don't
out.
really know.
We're going to find
Sometimes
out.
a cowboy hat and a mustache will show up on your face, and you got to improvise. But when you improvise, just remember that needs to remain a string throughout, because everything that you do is a potential gold mine for catchphrases.
Oh, God. Okay. But, like, how many different ones are there? Like, there's 100 different ones?
Scores.
Oh, my God.
I don't know, Lucy. I'm looking at you.
There's a lot.
A
But you
lot.
won't get a ton because each thing costs a different amount. So people don't want to send the really expensive ones. But you're
Right.
going to get a lot of roses.
Well, not with that
a lot
attitude.
of- yeah.
Right, exactly.
What are the really
Maybe I'll
expensive
buy one.
ones?
What are the most
Galaxies?
expensive ones?
It's like there's like a raccoon one that's a little more expensive. There are like more animated people. There are a lot of options.
How about a diamond ring?
I think there's a diamond in there.
Yeah,
you
there
get
better be.
diamonds. That's how you get paid diamonds.
Let's test this out.
In
if
actual diamonds?
If someone throws you a rose on the screen,
It would be cool.
How
What
will
do
I
you
see
say?
It? How will I see it?
you will see it'll
You'll
pop
see it
up on
there.
your screen. We have a phone in front of you right now that you're going to play to. You're going to play to that camera. Okay?
Okay.
So if someone throws you a cartoon rose, what is your reaction going to be?
My reaction is going to be Villa Rose Pizza.
Great. Now you have to do
Awesome.
that every time
What?
you see a rose, though.
What happens if someone gives
Villa
you pizza?
Rose Pizza.
What happens if someone gives you pizza?
Is that one of the things?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I got to tell you now, or I can
You got to
surprise
figure it
you?
out, though.
Okay, I have figured it
Yeah.
out. Yeah. How long do I take to figure it out?
I'd start thinking about it. Like,
Well, there's dozens. There's an infinite number of different emojis people can throw at me. This is terrifying.
Well, we have now loaded up your TikTok live.
I see red hearts.
All right. So what's going to
Right.
be your thing whenever you get a heart?
Is that one of them?
I think so.
it could be.
Okay.
It could be.
Oh, I don't know.
Also solicit gifts right now. Tell the audience you want their gifts. You want glizzies. You want ice cream. You want
Oh,
roses.
Greg!
Okay. Hey, look at me with a hat.
I sent you a rose.
That's a
Did you?
pretty good saying.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I
look at
don't
me with a hat.
know. Must have been the roses. Something like that, Greg.
Yeah, that's Stugotz's catchphrase.
Villa Rose Pizza.
All right, you got a gift. Go, go, go.
Go.
All right, what was that?
These are all coming from us.
I didn't see
This
it.
is sad.
You got a hat on. Come on, we have this up. Play.
It's a party hat.
Another cowboy
You
hat?
got a party hat on.
Don't look at me.
Okay,
look at
where's
your
my
TikTok.
party hat?
Look at the camera in the phone.
I'm looking
Ignore
at it
the
right now.
people who are jerking off to this.
He wants
and
his hat.
develop
What
a
is that?
catchphrase.
Get
What's
a bear. Bear.
What is that?
There's a bear.
It's a bear.
That's not a bear.
It's a bear. Just
Okay.
do something with a bear.
Okay,
What's your thing?
I can't bear it.
Okay, but do stuff with your hands too.
Yeah.
Cowboy
Greg,
hat.
See, I don't know. This is new to me.
You got a
I-
You
basketball.
got a cowboy hat. Come on.
I
be
like the
quicker,
cowboy
Greg.
hat.
You,
Hey, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up.
there you go. That's
is
your
that?
thing. Every time you get a cowboy hat, you do that.
All right,
That
what is
exact thing.
Oh, a panda bear? What is that?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't ask what is that. You got
I
to
can
just
barely
react to
see
it.
it. It's tiny.
Get closer.
Bear.
Okay, hang on just a second. Jesus Christ almighty. Okay, what is that, a pair of Red Socks?
Stop
Looks like a
asking
red-
out loud what something is and
okay,
just
I'm
react
sorry.
to
In
it.
fairness to Greg, I needed my glasses. Do you want my glasses?
No, let me try mine.
Okay. All right.
Very good.
You're bad at this. I think Stugotz is safe.
Yeah.
So is Pinky Doll. Don't even consider Pinky Doll right
Oh,
now.
a hot dog and a bear.
You got a hot dog.
Okay.
Thank them for the glizzy.
For the love of Joey Chestnut.
Excellent.
The classic old person move to look up.
For the love of Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
I think you're starting to get the hang of this a little bit.
All right, what is that?
The high heel.
A high heel? That's highfalutin. Oh, a cowboy hat. Woo! Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. Sorry.
Don't apologize.
Okay.
Hey, are you liking this? You're being adorned with praise right
You're making
now.
money, Greg. You're making
Am
real
I?
money by
Yeah,
doing
Get
this.
closer to the camera.
All of this goes to charity, by the way. Every cent I earn.
It'll be like $1.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
If it were more, I'd keep it.
That is what you're earning. Cents.
Okay.
Anything north of $1
Yeah,
going in your pocket?
exactly.
You're missing
Zach
gifts.
Hackey.
You're missing gifts.
All right, a rose by any other name. Ah,
Love that.
I thought you were doing Villa Rose Pizza.
that's a thorn in my side.
Stugotz is going to have to take over pretty
Woo!
soon. Greg is. Oh,
Yeah, I'm ready to hand this off to Stugotz.
Stugotz,
believe
get in
me.
there too and share the
Yeah,
microphone
believe me.
Okay.
Show
and
me how to
compete
do
with
it.
him. Show him how it's done.
Show me how to do
Greg,
it,
you were
Stugotz.
really our
Awful.
expectations
No,
were low,
it's-
but holy
Yeah,
we were
no,
so
really
excited
bad.
to do this.
I really wasn't.
I was super excited because
Yeah?
it's
I
like
think it's-
classic old guy, new technology.
But also, Greg loves crooning. Greg, this is a
and
crooning
Greg loves
app.
Greg.
Right, of course.
Get out of the way. Let the professional
Okay,
handle
first
this.
of all, I could barely even see what the little
You're
icons
bad
were.
at it. You stink. Greg, get out. Stugotz, show him how it's done.
Show me how it's done, boss.
All right.
You're not going with the glasses with the badge attached? That was kind of your avatar.
Yeah, I know. I got to find them, though. I'm using Greg's glasses now. Oh, these are terrible glasses. No wonder you can't
But you
see.
just got a boxer robe.
I don't know. Must have been the roses. Hey, Bear!
Did Stugotz just learn that glasses are different based on who has those glasses?
believe he did.
Terrible. Oh, strumming the guitar. Slapping
the bass.
That's all I got for guitar. Hold up. I need my glasses. Pablo, can you find my glasses? It's right next to the weed in my backpack.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Your weed.
You were just given a corn, a piece
Corn?
of corn.
I was?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Come up with something for corn.
I will.
Oh, didn't you say it was in your poop?
Corn is in my poop. I love corn in my poop. Little corn in the cob in the poop. What else do I have?
Whoa.
I love corn in the cob and the poop. I don't know. Must have been the roses. I'm going to change that to run for the roses. Run, run, run for the roses. Can't do that? Oh, there are my
you
glasses.
already have a thing.
We are back. Okay. Hey, Bear. All right.
All right, Craig, are you learning? Are you learning? This is good right here. This is how it's done.
Hold on a sec. I'm going to change the bear to Chris Felica. Every time I see a bear, it's Chris Felica.
I liked Hey Bear.
I don't know. Must have been the roses. Time to make the donuts.
Greg, are you learning?
I'm waiting.
Yeah, I'm learning.
So, Greg, you need to have a catchphrase for every single symbol that is thrown up. Ride 'em, cowboy! That's the lasso I was doing with my hand. You know what I'm saying? I got a gift. How about that? Ride 'em, cowboy!
We are so trendy.
Flames, fire, Art Briles. Say hi to him when you go to hell.
I thought yesterday was hot, hot, hot.
It was
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
hut, hut, hut.
a slice of the pie. That's a terrible one.
This is what Dan meant by younger and smarter, right?
Mike Piazza.
You're not doing enough with your hands.
Well, I'm sitting. I'm not in a normal position.
It's
I'm
weird.
sitting
You
in
talk with your
fancy.
hands all the time, but when you're on TikTok and you're supposed to, you stop.
Yeah, I know. Oh, the bolts. I love the bolts. Austin Eckler underpaid. Watermelon, a slice of heaven.
What do you mean?
Watermelon. What do you mean? What do I mean?
I don't know.
A slice of heaven. A slice of watermelon to me is a
okay.
slice of heaven.
Yeah,
you know
it is.
what I'm saying?
Damn right.
So that segment made me a little sad. I think we all expected that Greg, his ability to see might have been stronger, enabling him to be the crooner that we know him to be.
He did get the tic-tac-toe joke in.
He did.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did.
Tough thing to say.
I can't describe how uncomfortable I was doing that because until 10 minutes earlier, I had no idea what this was. Not just TikTok, but roses and worth money. And this is all something that was totally foreign to me. And then not being able to now, don't get me wrong, when the cowboy hat was superimposed over my
You
head.
loved it.
I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go. I would wear a cowboy hat nonstop because that was a beautiful thing. But the little rose, it looked like a pair of red. It looked like the Red Sox logo to me. The rose.
Greg, I want to take full responsibility for two things. Number one, putting you through that in that way, no explanation. But number two, I want to take full responsibility for the gift you've given us of being the control group in society that still is rightfully confused by what the is happening online.
Thank you.
You need to watch Pinky Doll, and I think you get it. She's a maestro.
Okay.
You gotta just give my dad some slack. He learned this weekend who Sebastian Maniscalco is.
Oh,
he's great, by the way.
So
I'm just
good.
telling you.
So
I told
good.
my dad I
So
went to see him.
good.
He goes, who's that?
Yeah.
Never heard of him. Look, you don't have to be a big Sebastian fan, but he just had no clue he existed. It's
No.
all moving fast for my dad. And then he went down a rabbit hole. The next day, he's like, that guy's funny.
He was great. I binged him for an hour and a half on Saturday.
I went to see him at Hard Rock Live. It was laugh out loud
Oh,
funny.
my God.
Yeah, it was
This
great.
side of the glass is loving Sebastian Maniscalco.
I mean, he has an ability to really make you laugh. He's relatable, and he has an ability to make you laugh without cursing.
and
no
he's-
curses.
Yeah, and he's a physical comic.
Take
Like,
note, Pablo.
He's a physical
Felt
comic.
like shade at me.
Reminds me of the late great George Carlin in terms of the physicality of his act. Fantastic. Highly recommended to anybody who hadn't heard of him like me.
You guys should check out Chris Rock.
I've heard of him.
Yeah.